If you build a PV installation now, almost everybody will install a home battery with it. Yeah? Now, I have the impression that in the Netherlands it's not so popular yet, or maybe they don't just give a tax break or a premium for it like we get in Belgium. But what if everybody would also start to install a battery next to every PV installation? Do you have to adapt your control approach? Will your conclusions change then? Because so far you only look at the PV installation itself without the battery.
Yeah, thank you for your questions. Indeed, in Netherlands, as far as I know, having a battery at home is not very common, thanks to the current scheme from the government. As consequences, the adverse impact is we have more issue with the surplus power. Starting from that point, from Netherlands cases, I propose in my control method to have the PV only, because at that time, having the battery still requires some high investment and take time to be deployed for every house. But we are already foreseeing the problem of the dry out there. And having said that, when we have the battery, I think my control method needs to be adapted to accommodate the battery. However, I think the principle still can be applied. For example, when we have the water dry problem, we know it's because of the reverse power flow. So we can do several ways. First, a element, as I propose. And second, we can ask the battery if the state of charge is lower, it can draw the power, please do so. And in that case, I think the sequence circuit control still can be applied and to issues or to define the set point, to define the amount of power need to be curtailed, and that can be used as the input for controlling the battery in next stage. So I think in general, having the battery together with the PV is very good idea to first solve the problem of to support the grid, and secondly to not waste our generation. However, we need to develop the control method in proper way. That's what I propose by adapting the scheduled control in my study.
And what about the tariffs? Because I understand that at the moment you don't make money if you have a battery in the Netherlands. What needs to be changed there?
For now, as far as I know, we still can get some money by selling the energy, the surplus energy back to the grid. But the tariff currently is really low. 1/3 of the price we get to buy the electricity. But I know that the government of Netherlands is intending to phase out that scheme. In this case, I think there are several options for people. First, to apply, to install the PV, as you mentioned, as the good option. Second, they can have the optimal use of the energy. For example, having the electrical CV, the heater, or having the EV, or using the induction cooktop instead of gas. And they have to change their behavior to consume as much as possible the energy from the PV, and that need to have some optimal use recommending tool in advance. And I think it's quite complicated, but I think it's doable. And that's my opinion.
Okay. You really need more self-consumption. Usually they also add a kind of a peak tariff, a dynamic peak tariff to it. Now, my third question. In your work, you also mentioned several times that your control methods are also good for local energy communities, at least